stupid.
It's stupid. They had the audio for the World Cup.
The UFC, they really dicked the New York City fans. Now I'm from Toronto, so I don't know what the New York City fans are feeling today, but I was in New York City for this press conference. It just so happened that I'd booked a business trip to go to New York City, and at the same time, the UFC would be in town for the McGregor-Khabib press conference. So I thought, wow, it's my lucky day. I'm not going to go as media, but I'm going to hang out with the fans for the day and see it from their perspective. And luckily I filmed the entire thing because the UFC really let the fans down. And I'm not talking about just because, oh, the fans couldn't get into the venue. I'm talking about pretty much the whole thing. Now for this video, we're going to follow 3 different sections of fans. We got the hardcore McGregor fan, we have the Khabib fan, and then we have a couple who brought the whiskey of Conor McGregor to the event trying to get in. Do they get in? We'll see. They don't. So I got to Radio City Music Hall at around noon, 5 hours before the event was going to start, wanting to see whether or not McGregor fans were going to show up super early and try to force their way into the event. Nothing. Nobody. 5 hours ahead of time, nothing. 4 hours ahead of time, nothing. 3 hours ahead of time, we start seeing some McGregor fans show up, especially this one fan. Now this is the hardcore McGregor fan that we're going to follow, because when I say hardcore, this guy is committed to his craft. He was going up to security guards, police officers, anybody that looked like they were a part of the UFC or the McGregor camp, the Khabib camp, and was talking to them. This guy is the epitome of a hustler. He hustled to try to get his way in, to try to talk to McGregor, to try to find out where McGregor was going to enter. Now we're about 2 hours from it. More people are starting to show up thinking, hey, if we're going to get in, this is going to be how we get in. This is probably where McGregor's going to get through. And this lovely couple shows up with 4 bottles of Conor McGregor's whiskey. And if you didn't see the tweet, Conor McGregor tweeted that, hey, if you bring my whiskey to the event, you can get in. Now, this couple was very realistic. They knew, oh, we're probably not going to get into the event this way.
Yeah, that's the word, man.
Yeah.
Slim to none, but
Yeah.
we'll try.
Doesn't hurt to try.
Doesn't hurt to try.
Might get some McGregor love if he sees you with them too. Yeah.
Maybe he'll just be like, bring him in, bring him in.
But might as well try. Maybe McGregor will see it, and maybe we'll get lucky. So now things start getting serious outside of Radio City Music Hall. You got security putting up barricades. Now we're starting to realize, okay, if something's going down, it's going to happen here. Now it's around an hour until the event starts. And more McGregor fans show up. And a couple of Khabib fans. Particularly this guy who, let's just say he's not afraid of confrontation. Him and the hardcore McGregor fan, they start verbally sparring.
Doesn't mean nothing. McGregor can kick Barbosa's ass. Cheap body. Keep doing this so long. Okay, whatever. McGregor gonna kick his ass. Yeah, I don't want to kick his ass. Alright, whatever. Watch Khabib go down.
And yeah, as you can see, it kind of gets a little entertaining. And this guy's all about the clout. He wanted me to plug his Instagram account. So on the screen right now is his Instagram account. I guess go follow him. So anyways, we have these 3 sets of fans, the hardcore McGregor fan, the couple with the whiskey, and then this Nurmagomedov fan, all hoping to catch a glimpse of their favorite fighter or to hopefully get into the event. More and more people start lining the streets. The other side of the street gets full of people. Even the windows of the buildings fill up with people. Everybody wants to get a peek at what's going on. And then, I'm pretty sure a car with Khabib Nurmagomedov goes by, and this happens.
Audio Atari? Yeah. So this is Khabib. No, Khabib is Ali. Abdulaziz. Oh shit. They're coming out.
Oh, Connor?
Oh, bro. Yo.
Shall we go?
Go. Go, Martin.
Oh, shit. Out of the street! Sidewalk.
People swarm the street trying to get a look at Khabib, and Khabib just rushed into the building. So that's disappointing. We didn't really get to see Khabib, and people just flooded the street. It was pretty crazy. But then, the moment that most people there were waiting for, McGregor shows up. And this is what happened. McGregor drove right by, threw his tie out the window. A lucky fan caught the tie, and then he just went into the building. No autographs. Unfortunately, the super hardcore McGregor fan was, as you can see, a bit disappointed. So now that that's over, the press conference is going to start soon. Let's go to Times Square. Because the UFC has this setup where they're going to show the whole press conference on the big screen in Times Square. So no, fans can't get into the event, and no, Conor or Khabib didn't do any signing outside of Radio City Music Hall, but maybe we can have an entertaining time with the UFC setting up maybe some fan zone with the big screen, maybe some New York-based fighters will be there, who knows. So what's the setup going to be? What's going to happen? So me and everybody else, we rush to Times Square to see what the whole big thing will be about. The UFC's been promoting it on their social media. Go to Times Square, watch the press conference. And
Bring the fans here. That's what Conor said. Bring the fans here. Get a war going. Fucking Danish.
It's stupid.
It's stupid. They had the audio for the World Cup.
And then one has audio for this?
yes, no audio for a press conference with Conor McGregor. Not only that, but no subtitles. It took about 30-40 minutes into the press conference for there to be subtitles. As you can see here, fans are not impressed. People are trying to stream it through their phone, but obviously there's lag and the timing's off and everything. And yeah, it's entertaining when McGregor stands up and acts out, but just overall, a really disappointing experience for fans. And then, of course, you get the predictable Khabib McGregor fans kind of skirmishing. Do you remember the guy, the Khabib fan from outside of Radio City Music Hall? Well, he sent me this video of a McGregor fan not being nice to him.
Kids don't know how to act when they skip school. Like, look, they're not on the news.
Michael Johnson beat Edson Barbosa, 24.
Let them know, Zip.
Justin Poirier. That's what I'm talking about. Khabib time, baby. That's what I'm saying.
What you got against me? That they're attacking my country. I'm a Muslim.
And that's it. That was the fan experience in New York City. And as someone who was a fan of the UFC for a long time and then changed to the media game, I was really curious as to how the UFC would treat their New York City fans. What's the point of having this press conference in New York City? The fight isn't going to be in New York City, so the only reason would to get into a population of people that are huge UFC fans, to get as many people as possible to come out and enjoy an event surrounded by McGregor and Khabib. And that didn't happen. The Times Square situation was a mess. There was no audio. It was like the big screen was too close to where people would sit or stand. Just overall, a bad experience that way. And then the press conference itself, there were no fans that were allowed into the venue, and it kind of just made the whole thing weaker. And then, of course, you don't expect Conor McGregor or Khabib to come out and sign autographs. I mean, it's too hectic and stuff, but the fans didn't even get that. And then you have the couple with the whiskey bottles that McGregor promised. If you had the whiskey bottles, you could get into the event, and they didn't get in. So overall, if you were a fan and you were in New York City and you wanted to experience the UFC in New York City with Conor McGregor and Khabib Nurmagomedov, it sucked. The UFC blew it. There were so many ways that they could have made this a great event, and they blew it. Oh, and to add on to the disappointment, no main event for the New York City card announced. Dana White confirmed no John Jones for the main event. So hopefully New York City fans will get treated to a great event with UFC 230. But yeah, UFC, you blew it. Thank you so much for watching. This was kind of a new idea that I wanted to do. I was in New York City, so decided, hey, let's follow fans. If you like this type of content, this kind of behind the scenes, not typical media stuff, throw us a subscription. Maybe we'll do more of this. Maybe go to events, but not do the boring, typical media stuff. And yeah, please give this video a like if you liked it, and check out my other video series, A Complete History of UFC Rankings, breaks down the entire history of, like I said, the UFC rankings. Thanks so much for watching.